Hello everyone, it's a personal honor to be here with Dr. Jaishree Sharad, and we are here to talk about her latest book, The Skincare Answer Book. So let's dive into the interview quickly. Dr. Jaishree is an internationally renowned cosmetic dermatologist with over 23 years of practice. She is the founder and director of Skinfinity Clinic in Mumbai. She is also a TEDx speaker, author of multiple books, and an international trainer. Dr. J, as she is popularly known, has multiple firsts to her name. She is the only Indian on the board of directors of the International Society of Dermatologic Surgery. She is the only Indian speaker invited at a plenary session at the American Society of Dermatologic Surgery Annual Congress. And still, what she is most well known for is her passion towards skincare and an unwavering ethos of making people confident in her own skin. Ma'am, first of all, a very hearty congratulations to you on your third book, The Skincare Answer Book. It has been receiving a great response both from the industry as well as a lot of love from the readers. So I wanted to understand from you, after Skin Talks and Skin Rules, this book is written in a very different Q&A kind of format. So what was the inspiration to write this book in such format?
So thank you so much for having me first of all. This book, the Skincare Answer Book, belongs to Instagram, So I have to tell you that during the lockdown, all of us had a lot of time. For a person who's working literally 24 hours in a day, suddenly there is so much time. And so I started reading and, writing and doing a lot of other stuff apart from doing the household chores also. And then my American friends actually exposed me to more Instagram. They said, hey, why don't you, do something active on Instagram? So I was like, what do you do? So then they said Instagram Live. So then I started doing Instagram Lives with some of my American colleagues, and realized that there was so much, information suddenly on skin that is being churned out everywhere on every platform. Some by very authentic dermatologists, some by very reputed skin influencers who have a good background, but also some by random people who had zero knowledge about skin. And one such thing came to my attention where a person ended up with burns and scarring because she applied something, some typical home remedy that she saw on Instagram. And that particular video had about over 1 million views. So imagine how many people would have done that and developed side effects. So that's when I started doing Instagram Live every day, And lots of people would ask me questions and then I would answer them. And then I started doing Ask Me Stories. There's something called Stories on Instagram. So that's when my editor, the previous 2 books were published by Penguin. So she was the one behind them also. She was after me. So she reached out to me and she said, Jay, why don't you write your 3rd book? And I was like, I'm not interested because I've written everything in the first 2 books. Ab aur kya hai? There's nothing left. So she said, but you're doing so much live and Ask Me Stories every day. Just put those questions into a book and, your answers are ready. So I thought over it and I said, that's a good idea. So then I tweaked my Ask Me Stories a little. So every Monday I would say Ask Me in the stories and I would put a topic to it.
Okay.
So I would say today ask me about skin types. Next week I would say today ask me about acne or ask me about oily skin. So one asked me and there were like thousands of questions. So I would take down those questions and put them in a folder and sort of have my bank ready. I would answer some of them. It's not practical to answer all. I would answer about 20 of them and keep everything in the folder. And by the end of it all, I had like a bank. If you see all these topics that you see, in the content, you see basics of skin type and cleansers, moisturizers, sunscreens, serums, active ingredients, layering, acne, hyperpigmentation, aging, all of this. We had folders and I had questions and questions and questions. And then I started answering them and the book happened. So that's how the book happened.
That's indeed a very interesting story, ma'am. It would be lovely if you could just walk us through all the three books quickly on what a user can expect when they pick up the book. Is it geared more towards professional people and advanced skincare, or is it more about basics of skincare?
See, my first book is for people, is actually the most advanced book.
Okay.
Okay. So, because at that time, see, I was not a person who was writing a lifestyle book, right? I was writing a lot of dermatology, chapters and all of that. So, I didn't know how to sort of capture a common man's, attention. So, it's very technical initially, like it's for a person who is interested in skin or who knows about skin. So it's really a very good book for those people. Then came Skin Rules. By then I had become much more experienced. So it's for a person who's a beginner as well as somebody who, has advanced knowledge also. But then this is, again, not something which you can just pick and say, okay, let me read. It's not like it's like from chapter 1, if you start, you have to read all the entire chapter to understand the book. Chapter 5 खोला तो पूरा chapter पढ़ना है. You have to read the entire chapter to understand that chapter, right? So again, it's for people who are interested in skin, right? Maybe basic skin, but interested. This book is something for, this one is for all age groups, all genders, and for anybody who's not even interested in skin, right? So for example, if I had this person who came to me and said, I've never read books in my life. But since I saw it on the table, my wife was reading it, I just picked it up at breakfast. And I saw this question which talked about, oh, you should be using sunscreen at home when you're working in front of your laptop. And that intrigued me and I read the answer. So basically, you don't have to read chapter 1 to chapter 50. You just pick whatever question that comes into your mind and look at it. Just now, I had a person who came with white hair, white beard, and wanted laser hair removal. Okay, I myself found it easy to turn to the chapter on hair removal and show him the question saying, does white hair get cured by laser? And the answer is no, it doesn't. So I showed him and he's like, oh nice, can I buy the book? So it's a very simple, and you find all your questions here. It's very relatable. It's very like, okay, I think this question, iska to answer hona hi chahiye, and rahega. So it's that simple. It's something for disinterested people, interested people, advanced, basic. 12-year-old has written a review recently. It's going to be put up very soon. Another friend of mine who's an influencer, her 70-year-old mother read it. So all age groups.
Lovely. So, ma'am, it's really interesting how you've been able to simplify skincare. It's something which is very technical and complex for people of all age groups and all interest types. Ma'am, on skincare, there are a lot of buzzwords lately: Korean skincare, dermaceuticals, cosmeceuticals, natural ingredients, herbal, organic, sustainable, there is so much buzzwords around skincare. In such scenario, how does one filter out noise and understand what is right for them?
I think, first of all, you need to follow the right channels, right? So, consult with a dermatologist if you're a first timer. That's the best thing to do. And suppose you don't want to do it, then follow the right blogs or the social media channels. So either dermatologists or again, as I said, skin influencers who have knowledge, who have a background of, something to do with skin or medicine or pharmaceutical industries. So something more authentic. And then identify your skin type. And then understand that, okay, probably these are the kind of concerns that I have. This is the kind of climate that I live in. This is the kind of environment that I am in. I'm sitting in the AC all day. So once you understand all that, you know what kind of products to pick, right? But my advice has always been that your first visit to a dermatologist before starting skincare is very important. People don't give that much of importance. We think, chalo. Very randomly people say, oh, I have acne, what can you suggest? I can't suggest online. I can say, chalo, at the most use a salicylic acid based face wash. Somebody wrote to me, I have eczema and what are the creams that you will prescribe? I cannot. I've done MBBS for 5.5 years. I've done my post-graduation for 3 years. And then I'm constantly studying. And you want me to give you something just online? It's not possible, right? So I think that one visit to a dermatologist to banta hi for everybody. One visit. You don't need to keep going again and again. And then follow authentic channels. Do not get, just carried away with your favorite influencers or actors or models saying this is my favorite. Every skin is unique. Every skin is different. So what may be fantastic for somebody else can be really bad for you, and vice versa. So that is something that you must remember. And so that's what you filter. Everything expensive need not be good. So that's again something. And something very, very inexpensive can do wonders to your skin. I guess, and don't go by these words, natural, organic, unless something is from your own kitchen. How can it be organic? How can you keep orange in a jar for over 24 hours? It will rot. You have to have a preservative. You have to have some chemical in it. Water is H2O, which is a chemical. So what are we talking about? Oh, all natural, all organic. So we have to take it with a pinch of salt. Yes, there are certain organic brands where maybe 70% is organic, but a 30% chemical will still be there in the product.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for simplifying the things for us. Is there any inside scoop on the fourth book? I sincerely hope there is something in pipeline.
I want to do something for men. I always say that men have skin too. I want to do something for maybe pregnant women and lactating women. Maybe something for... So there are lots of ideas. I don't know which one to do, but all 3 books of mine have stuff for men. Especially this one has a lot for men and boys. So not really thought of anything as such as of now, but something will happen.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think it's very important that people see skin as skin and not gender-based skincare, because it is basic skin type. So
yes.
Thank you for all the time that you've given us, all the education we've got from you. Really indebted about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.